Welcome to my channel Old Valuable Coins. Did you know that some 1-cent coins from the United States are worth a fortune today? The most valuable penny ever sold is the 1943 copper Lincoln cent, worth over $1 million because it was mistakenly made of copper during World War II instead of steel. Another rare gem is the 1955 double-die Lincoln penny, famous for its doubled letters on Liberty and In God We Trust, often valued at thousands of dollars. Even the 1909 SVDB penny can bring in big money due to its low mintage. So, check your old pennies, you might be holding a hidden treasure worth more than gold. First up, the 1959 1-cent coin from the United States is one of the most talked about Lincoln cents among collectors. This coin marks the beginning of a new design era for the Lincoln penny series, and many people don't realize how special it really is. The 1959 penny replaced the famous wheat reverse with a brand new design, the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, symbolizing a new chapter in American coinage history. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, the 1959 Lincoln cent was the first year to feature the memorial building on the back, designed by Frank Gasparo. On the front, you'll find the classic bust of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, just as it had appeared since 1909. But what makes the 1959 penny so interesting isn't just the design change, it's the value variations, minting errors, and small details that can turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into a rare collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with some basic facts. The 1959 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. Over 600 million were minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, and more than 1 billion were minted in Denver with the D mint mark under the date. Because of such high mintage numbers, most 1959 cents are common in circulation. However, certain rare varieties and errors can make them surprisingly valuable today. One of the most famous stories surrounding the 1959 penny is the mysterious 1959 D wheat reverse cent. Although the reverse design was officially changed to the Lincoln Memorial, a few coins appeared showing the old wheat reverse, a design that should not exist for this year. This rare 1959 D wheat reverse penny became one of the most controversial coins in American numismatic history. Many experts debated whether it was genuine or altered, and the controversy made it one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. If proven authentic, such a coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about regular issues. A typical circulated 1959 penny is usually worth 1 cent to a few cents, depending on condition. But if you have a 1959 or 1959 D penny in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value goes up significantly. Coins with bright red luster and no visible wear are highly prized by collectors. Mint state examples can range from a few dollars up to over $100 if they are perfectly struck and well preserved. Error coins are where things get really interesting. Look for double die obverses, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. A 1959 D penny with a strong double die or a clear repunched D can bring impressive prices at auctions. Some off-center or clipped planchette errors are also valuable, especially if they still show full date details. Always check your coins carefully under good lighting or magnification. Sometimes, these small imperfections can mean a big difference in value. The 1959 penny is also significant to coin collectors because it marks the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln cent series. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse not only celebrates his legacy but also shows a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a small detail that many people miss. It was one of the first coins to show a monument honoring the person featured on the obverse side. If you're collecting 1959 pennies, condition is everything. Coins graded as red, meaning they've kept their original copper color without turning brown, are the most desirable. Look for coins stored properly in dry conditions and away from humidity. Even a small fingerprint or spot can lower the value, so handle them carefully. Collectors often prefer rolls of uncirculated 1959 D pennies because of their high quality and availability. You might be wondering, how do you know if your 1959 penny is rare or valuable? Start by checking for mint marks and any unusual details. If your coin looks different, heavier, lighter, or shows odd markings, it might be worth a closer inspection. Some 1959 pennies struck on leftover planches from previous years, like steel or silver blanks, are extremely rare and can sell for thousands. Although rare, these types of mint errors are known to happen and are worth checking for. Another interesting thing about the 1959 penny is how it connects older and newer collectors alike. For many, it's one of the first coins found in change that sparks an interest in coin collecting. It's common enough to be accessible but has enough mystery, variety, and history to keep collectors fascinated. In terms of investment potential, the 1959 penny may not seem like much at first glance, but high-grade examples and rare varieties have continued to rise in demand. Collectors of Lincoln cents often want a complete series, and that means they need the first year of the memorial design. So, pristine 1959 pennies remain popular, especially in graded and certified collections. When examining your 1959 pennies, pay attention to surface details, sharp edges, full lines in the Lincoln Memorial steps, and a strong strike on Lincoln's hair. These features can help determine if your coin is mint state or not. Many coins from Denver are known for slightly weaker strikes, so a fully detailed example from Denver can be more desirable. Even though billions were minted, finding one in perfect red gem condition after decades is quite rare. Copper tends to tone and darken over time, so a shiny, bright red 1959 penny is a collectible gem. The 1959 penny remains a symbol of American change, literally and historically. It represents the end of the beloved wheat penny era and the beginning of the modern Lincoln Memorial design that lasted until 2008. For collectors, this makes the 1959 cent a transitional coin, a key piece of U.S. numismatic history. Next up, we'll talk in detail about the 1974 Lincoln penny, a coin that has captured the interest of millions of collectors across the world. Whether you found a 1974 penny in your change or inherited one from a family collection, this coin can hold both historical and potential collectible value. In this video, we'll explore everything about the 1974 1-cent coin, from its composition and mint marks to the varieties, rare errors, and how collectors determine its worth in the current coin market. The 1974 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which was produced from 1959 to 2008. On the obverse, or front, you will see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. The phrase, "In God We Trust," appears above Lincoln's head, liberty appears to the left, and the date 1974 is placed to the right. It's a simple yet iconic design that has become a part of American history. In 1974, the United States Mint struck the Lincoln cent in three main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, those from Denver carry a small D below the date, and those from San Francisco are proof coins with an S mint mark. The total mintage for that year was enormous, with billions of pennies produced. Because of this, most 1974 pennies in circulated condition are still worth around face value, but the story changes dramatically when it comes to special errors, high-grade examples, and rare variations. The standard 1974 Lincoln cent was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. However, in the early 1970s, the United States Mint began experimenting with alternative compositions because of the rising cost of copper. This led to the production of a few experimental 1974 aluminum cents, which are extremely rare and highly valuable today. These aluminum cents were never released for public circulation and were intended only for testing purposes. Only a small number were struck, and most were ordered to be returned and destroyed, but a few escaped into the hands of collectors. A genuine 1974 aluminum cent can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and provenance. Apart from the aluminum cent, there are other variations worth knowing about. Some 1974 Lincoln cents have small striking errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or repunched mint marks. A 1974 penny with a visible double die on the obverse or reverse can be much more valuable than a regular coin. Collectors always look for features like doubling in the letters of Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. The Denver Mint produced the largest quantity of 1974 pennies, making the 1974 D coin one of the most common in circulation. Yet, in high mint state grades, especially MS 67 or higher, even these can bring premium prices. A brilliant, red, uncirculated 1974 D penny graded MS 67 or MS 68 by a top grading company can be valued at hundreds of dollars. That's why collectors emphasize the condition of the coin. The difference between a worn coin and a pristine, red, lustrous coin can be astonishing. The 1974 S-proof penny, on the other hand, was minted for collectors only. Proof coins were struck multiple times using specially polished dies to bring out mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. These coins were sold directly to collectors by the U.S. Mint. While most proof pennies from 1974 are affordable, coins with perfect PR 70 grades can reach higher values in the coin market. To understand the potential of a 1974 penny, it's important to know how grading works. Coins are typically evaluated using the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor 1 to mint state 70. Factors like luster, surface preservation, and strike quality determine the grade. A coin that still has its original red color and no visible scratches or wear will naturally score higher. Collectors and investors prefer red pennies over brown or red-brown ones, as color preservation directly affects market demand. When checking your 1974 penny, look carefully under good lighting or a magnifying glass. Examine the date and the mint mark for signs of doubling. Inspect the edges for irregularities, and note whether the coin still has its natural shine. Even small details can make a difference in value. Some fascinating 1974 pennies have been discovered with planchette errors, like off-metal strikes or clipped planchets. Off-metal errors happen when the penny was accidentally struck on a blank meant for another coin, like a dime or foreign coin. These rare pieces are highly collectible because they show clear evidence of minting mistakes. Beyond their monetary worth, the 1974 1-cent coins represent an era of transition in U.S. coinage history. The early 1970s marked a time when copper prices rose rapidly, and the mint had to find new solutions to maintain cost efficiency. These experiments directly influenced the composition change that occurred later in 1982, when the penny's composition was switched to 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. In that sense, the 1974 penny stands at the edge of a major transformation in U.S. coin design and material. Collectors often wonder how to store their 1974 pennies to preserve their beauty and value. The best method is to keep them in coin holders or airtight capsules to prevent exposure to air and moisture. Touching the coin's surface can leave oils from your skin, which over time can cause discoloration or spotting. If you have a coin with potential value, handle it carefully by its edges only. The 1974 1-cent coin is also a great educational tool for those new to coin collecting. It teaches how to identify mint marks, understand mintage numbers, and appreciate the role of condition and rarity in determining price. Many collectors start their Lincoln cent collection with coins like the 1974 penny because they are easy to find, affordable to collect, and full of history. Now, let's discuss current market trends. While circulated 1974 pennies typically trade for 1 cent, uncirculated examples or rare errors can fetch from a few dollars up to several hundred. For example, a 1974 D Lincoln cent graded MS-67 red has sold for over $400 in auctions. Proof coins in top condition can reach even higher figures. The aluminum test coins, if ever legally available for sale, would be worth many thousands of dollars. When you're evaluating your 1974 penny, always consider these three things: the mint mark, the condition, and any unique features. A regular circulated penny from 1974 with a D mint mark will mostly hold sentimental or historical value, while a flawless mint state or rare error coin can attract serious collector interest. The charm of the Lincoln cent lies in its story, a coin used daily by millions, yet capable of turning into a treasure when rarity and condition meet. Every 1974 penny carries a little piece of American heritage, connecting back to the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the craftsmanship of U.S. coinage. If you have a collection of old pennies, it's worth taking the time to examine each one closely. Many collectors have discovered valuable pieces hidden in plain sight. Look for that bright red luster, clear details, and any unusual markings. Even small imperfections from the mint can sometimes mean big value to the right collector. Next up, the 1976 D1 cent coin from the United States is one of those fascinating pieces of American coinage history that collectors continue to talk about today. Minted in Denver, this coin represents an era when the Lincoln Memorial design was still in full circulation, and it carries with it stories of minting quality, potential errors, and surprising value depending on its condition. If you've ever come across a 1976 D penny in your change or coin collection, this detailed look will tell you everything you need to know about its background, composition, varieties, and the hidden potential it might hold. The 1976 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Designed by Victor David Brenner on the obverse and Frank Gasparo on the reverse, this coin shows Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. The D mint mark beneath the date shows it was minted in Denver. That's important because the Denver Mint produced a large quantity of these coins, over 4.2 billion, making it quite common in circulation. However, while the 1976 D penny is generally common, certain coins in mint condition or with special mint errors can still fetch impressive prices. Let's start with the coin's physical characteristics. The 1976 D Lincoln cent is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19 millimeters. This composition gives it a distinctive reddish-brown tone when new, and over time, it may darken or tone depending on exposure and storage conditions. Coins that retain their original red luster, called red by numismatists, are the most desirable among collectors. When graded as red and in mint state condition, these coins can bring premium prices. In circulated condition, most 1976D pennies are worth only their face value, but when you move into uncirculated or proof-like examples, the value can rise. A well-preserved 1976D penny graded MS65 red by a professional service can be worth anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on eye appeal and market demand. Coins graded MS66 or higher, especially those with a full red color and minimal contact marks, can sometimes reach hundreds of dollars at auction. What really excites collectors, though, are the varieties and errors that can appear on the 1976D penny. There are several notable minting errors that make certain coins stand out. Examples include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, clipped planches, and struck-through errors. A double die obverse can show doubling on the date or lettering, and those examples are particularly popular. Always examine the coin under magnification, especially around Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. If you spot any signs of doubling, you could have a rare and valuable coin. Another variety worth mentioning is the 1976D penny with a strong die clash or die break. These happen when dies strike each other without a planchette between them, transferring part of the design onto the other die. When a coin is struck afterward, the result can show faint outlines of the reverse design on the obverse, or vice versa. These clash marks make the coin unique and collectible, with prices depending on the clarity and rarity of the error. Let's talk about the historical context. The year 1976 marked the bicentennial of the United States, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. While the cent itself didn't receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half-dollar, or dollar coin, the 1976D penny still belongs to that iconic year of American celebration. Many collectors build 1976 sets to commemorate the bicentennial, and the Lincoln cent often completes those sets, adding sentimental and historical value. If you have a 1976D penny and want to know whether it's valuable, condition is key. Look for coins with sharp details, original luster, and minimal wear. The higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Coins stored in original mint sets or rolls often maintain their bright red color and are ideal candidates for grading. Even a small difference in condition, from MS64 to MS65, can make a big difference in value. Let's go over approximate market ranges. A typical circulated 1976D penny is worth 1 cent, maybe up to 3 cents if it's in exceptional shape. An uncirculated red example graded MS65 could bring $15 to $30. Coins in MS66 red condition can bring $50 or more, and those in MS67 red, while extremely rare, can reach several $100s. Certain error coins have sold for even more, sometimes in the $500 to $1,000 range, depending on the error type and eye appeal. Collectors often search for 1976D pennies with the so-called floating roof variety, where the top of the Lincoln Memorial's roof appears disconnected from the rest of the structure due to a weak strike or die deterioration. This isn't an intentional variety but has become a popular talking point among collectors and YouTube coin enthusiasts. While not extremely valuable, it adds an interesting twist and demonstrates how subtle minting variations can turn an ordinary coin into a conversation piece. If you are inspecting your coins, pay attention to the color designation, red, road, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. Red coins are the most sought after because they preserve their original mint luster. A red 1976D penny can dramatically outperform a brown one in value, even if both have the same numerical grade. Another factor to consider is strike quality. Coins with sharp details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and the Lincoln Memorial steps show stronger strikes and are preferred by collectors. Denver generally produced well-struck cents in 1976, but quality still varied. You might be surprised to know that even though billions of 1976D pennies were made, finding one in pristine, untouched mint condition is challenging. Most entered circulation immediately and picked up scratches or discoloration over time. That's why high-grade survivors are valuable. They're the exception, not the rule. Some collectors also enjoy building complete year sets of Lincoln Memorial cents, where the 1976D penny plays an important role. Its association with the bicentennial year gives it a touch of patriotic nostalgia that adds to its charm. Now, let's briefly mention the difference between the 1976D penny and the 1976 no-mint mark penny from the Philadelphia Mint. Both are common, but the Denver minted coins typically have a stronger strike and sometimes a more pronounced color tone. Collectors often compare the two for quality and finish, and together, they make an excellent pairing for a bicentennial year coin display. When storing or preserving your 1976D pennies, keep them in a cool, dry environment. Avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can destroy the surface luster and reduce value. Use coin flips, holders, or tubes made of non-PVC material to prevent chemical reactions over time. Properly stored copper coins can maintain their color for decades and even appreciate in value as collector demand grows. Let's talk about market interest. While the 1976D penny isn't considered rare, it continues to be popular because of its year and because collectors are increasingly revisiting the Lincoln Memorial series. Younger collectors entering the hobby often start with pennies because they're easy to find and inexpensive to collect, which keeps demand consistent. Now we will explore the 1982 1-cent coin from the United States. Is one of the most talked about coins in American history. Collectors, coin hunters, and numismatists all over the world search for this specific penny because it marks one of the biggest changes in U.S. coinage. The year 1982 is a landmark year for the Lincoln penny. It was the transition year when the United States Mint changed the metal composition of the cent from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc planchet. This small change created multiple varieties of the 1982 1-cent coin, and that makes it a favorite for coin collectors and treasure hunters even today. The 1982 1-cent coin comes in several different versions. There are large date and small date varieties, and both exist in copper and zinc compositions. That means there are 8 different varieties of the 1982 penny when you include all the mint marks and metal types. These varieties include the 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and similar ones from the Denver Mint such as the 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D small date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, and 1982 D small date zinc. Every serious coin collector knows that identifying each variety is key to finding the rare and valuable ones among them. The story behind this coin begins with rising copper prices in the late 1970s and early 1980s. The cost of producing a single penny began to exceed its face value. So in 1982, the United States Mint decided to switch from using 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc to a cheaper metal composition of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. This change saved millions of dollars, but it also created one of the most fascinating mix-ups in modern coinage history. During the transition, both copper and zinc planchets were used that year, creating the famous 1982 copper and 1982 zinc varieties that collectors now seek so passionately. If you want to tell the difference between a 1982 copper and a 1982 zinc penny, you can do it easily by weight. The copper 1-cent coin weighs about 3.11 grams, while the zinc one weighs around 2.5 grams. Many collectors use a digital scale to test their 1982 pennies and see which type they have. Finding an original copper penny can be exciting because some rare transitional errors occurred when copper planchets were mistakenly used during the production of zinc coins. These transitional errors are extremely valuable and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and variety. The 1982 D small date copper penny is one of the most valuable and sought-after Lincoln cents of all time. It is considered a rare transitional error that happened when leftover copper planchets were used in the Denver Mint. Only a few examples are known to exist, making it a key target for treasure hunters. If you happen to have a 1982 D small date penny that weighs 3.11 grams, you might be holding a fortune in your hand. Such a coin has been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction when authenticated and graded in top condition. Even the common 1982 pennies can be worth more than face value if they are in uncirculated condition, proof-like state, or have interesting die errors. Some coins show double dies, die cracks, weak strikes, or off-center strikes. Error coins like these can bring higher prices because collectors love coins that show the unique characteristics of the minting process. Searching through rolls of pennies from banks or old collections can sometimes yield one of these special varieties. Collectors often pay attention to the date style on the coin. The large date variety has thicker numbers, while the small date has thinner and more delicate digits. This difference is especially noticeable in the "to" of the date, and it helps identify which variety you have. The Denver Mint marked its coins with a small D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side, under the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Each tiny detail can make a huge difference in the value of your coin. When examining the 1982 penny, condition plays a major role in value. Circulated coins are usually worth a few cents each, but uncirculated and mint state examples can be worth much more. A 1982 small date zinc penny in MS-67 grade can bring strong prices among collectors, while a rare 1982 D small date copper penny in high grade could reach thousands of dollars. The value depends on rarity, metal content, and preservation. Keeping your coins in protective holders or flips helps maintain their original shine and prevents oxidation or damage. Many collectors like to build full sets of 1982 pennies, collecting every variety from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. It's an educational and affordable way to learn about U.S. coinage transitions. The 1982 1-cent coin is not only a piece of metal, it's a story of American economy, minting technology, and history. For people who love Lincoln cents, the 1982 penny represents the bridge between the old era of solid copper and the modern era of copper-plated zinc coins. If you're coin roll hunting, the 1982 pennies are exciting finds because of their multiple varieties and potential for hidden treasures. You can check rolls of pennies or jars of old coins at home to see if you have a rare one. Always remember to weigh them and inspect the date style carefully. A simple 1982 D penny might look ordinary, but with the right characteristics, it could be one of the rarest coins ever produced. The United States 1-cent coin has always featured the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front since 1909. The reverse of the 1982 coin still carried the Lincoln Memorial design, which was first introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Every detail on the coin, from Lincoln's bust to the small letters, Liberty and In God We Trust, tells the story of America's long-standing respect for its history and leaders. Over the years, the 1982 penny has become a symbol of change. It shows how small decisions, like switching from copper to zinc, can make a big impact on collectors decades later. Even today, the 1982 1-cent coin continues to capture the attention of the coin community because of its complexity and hidden value. Many people overlook this coin, but knowledgeable collectors know it's a key year that every Lincoln cent enthusiast should study and collect.